Alright people, welcome back to the NieR Automata walkthrough. I'm not gonna do like another video or some kind of like Bloodborne, do some kind of last spectacular. I think it's the quieter moments that this game earned, and yeah, that's enough said. So, as I like to always finish the last bit of the game, you know my stick. Basically, I like to finish the game all the way to its max. Everything I can do. Like, if I get 100%, kudos. If I don't, then that's cool. Then I just want to show most of the story content and the cutscenes and the really just everything this game is about. So if I go in on rants and just kind of ramble on, forgive me. This game, I love this game, for a fact. Okay, so whoever hasn't finished NieR Automata, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but spoiler warning, I'm going to basically spoil significant moments from the story. And if you don't like spoilers, please just watch the beginning of my video or play the game yourself, and then come back after you at least finish ending E. Or if you're far enough in the game and you just don't care, or you just don't care about spoilers. So, as some YouTubers say, you have been warned. Alright, when am I gonna get this game? Instant 9. Yoko Taro, you can be a dick. I can tell you can be a dick to your characters and some of your content. Or, I wouldn't say you're a dick, but I think you're a troll. But dude, you're a genius. This game was brilliant. Brilliant. It just deserves every praise that you got from it. I can see why. Now, why am I giving it a 9? Let's start with the negative. Alright, let's start with the negative. It's the fetch quest, and it's going to be a double-edged sword. I'm going to give it a positive, but I'm going to focus on the negative first. So, going from point A to point B, just like game materials, for one example, for some of the side quests, just because they need that to either escape or do some generic thing, then you have to go from point A to point B, a place that you already previously backtracked to, and that you didn't really want to go back to, but you gotta do it to get the side mission, XP, and some special item. Once you're done with that, you go back, listen to the generic dialogue, or in some cases, unique dialogue. But after that, you're done, and it keeps going for more than 20 hours that I'm uncomfortable with. It's fine in C because we're getting straight to the point, and D is just basically the other side, but it's really just the other ending. E is just perfect. I have nothing to complain about. But A and B, you do have to do a lot of grocery list of side quests just to get stuff that you want, but it's not really essential, and it's not fun. It is not fun at all. As you saw on my channel, whoever's been keeping up with my NieR Automata channel, doing all those side missions back and forth, the fetch quest especially, just bored me to tears. I didn't like it. It was agonizingly slow. It slowed the pacing. In fact, I actually had to take a break because I was so bored out of tears with the side quest, and I just wanted to focus on the main story mission. So if you took away the side missions from this game would have got a 10 for me, for a fact. I love this game. I recommend anybody to play it. But that was the negative, and they know it. I just felt like Yoko Taro had a brilliant game, but he wanted to pad the time, so he decided to throw his fetch quests to show the repetitiveness of doing fetch quests and how it's trying to world build, but it didn't hit me where I lived. It was just thrown in there, and they know it. So take away from that was my only nitpick. Now, here comes the spoiler territory, and I'm sorry, but I did warn you. First positive, it's a multi-perspective character story, and that's the best way I can describe it. So there's 5 different paths, and they're brilliantly done, and they're gelled well. There's no weak link of the story. I love the multi-personal story. I'm gonna go over them quickly. 2Bs is a great world building, straightforward, and you kind of get a sense of the characters, the time, the place, what's the rules of this world, what are the concepts of the worlds, what's the central theme. It's simplistic and straightforward, but I love it. Route A and B. But Route A really sets you of where the story is going in a straightforward way until it throws some kind of nitpicks and foreshadowing that if you don't catch at first glance, that's okay. Route B gives you behind the scenes. And just that last line with 2B said it always ends like that. I like that. It just kind of sets it up for the future episodes and kind of adds to that there's more to it and you want to play the game. And the game benefits for you playing the game. The same thing that you've done before. It benefits because you don't know where the next path is going. A sense of familiarity. Sorry, I had to pronounce that word correctly. The sense of being familiar keeps you guessing, but it keeps you comfortable until they pull the rug for you. Really, it's Route B that gets you hooked in the game. Route A gets you invested and kind of curious, but Route B gets you invested and you want to know what's going on. The behind the or playing the same segment, but with behind the scenes of the villains, the heroes, kind of mindset of 9S. It just and some great plot twists that I was not seeing, that I couldn't see coming. It just puts the game in a complete 360 from Route A, and then you have to do a double take on Route A, and you kind of want to play it again because now with your knowledge you gain from Route B, you're just kind of like, I was not expecting that. And that's where the multi-perspective character stories work so well with it. Once you're done with Route B, then you don't know where it's going after that, especially that mid-credit scene, which I recorded. It's amazing. I love the transitions from Route A to B, and then B to C. And then, sorry, this is going to be longer than my usual kind of videos, but it's NieR Automata. I gotta be detailed. Then Route C, my favorite route. It not only starts with a Game of Thrones kill everybody, it gets horrible. It's the most darkest hour of that route. It's my favorite route because it just has the balls. Yoko Taro had the balls to not only kill off major characters that we knew, they killed the commander, they killed all the operators that we really were cool with, they killed freaking 2B, they even killed 9S and A2 and Pascal. Everyone dies. That's the main story of that game, of Route C. And D, everybody dies. And I mean, almost everybody dies. Even the twins I like, they die. Why Route C had an impact on me, it's as open as ours. And you can watch that video, and y'all know, it just has so many wham moments just from the get-go. It keeps coming, and keeps coming, and it keeps going towards the end, that it just ends in a jaw-dropping moment. There's just so many awesome moments. Plus the gameplay variety that they did in C compared to Route A and B trumps everything that was done before. It changes your perspective. It forces you to look at the other side. It forces you to look at the themes of it. It just trips you up. It just keeps you getting. And that... Let me put it this way. If Route A doesn't get hooked, play Route B. But if Route B does get hooked, go to C. Just play through the game, ignore all the side missions, and go straight to C. You'll thank me later. Because by the time I got to C, I was hooked. I was already hooked. I was hooked at the beginning, so that was the added benefit. C just cemented. So after that story, and just with the bunker blowing up 2B and just dying and everything dying, then we get to E. And that's where it culminates everything that you did from A to E. It fits. And I love that moment. I love that moment from E. I'm gonna take a special moment to talk about E towards the verdict end of it. I'm sorry this is gonna be long. I'm not too sorry because that has a special place in my heart. Route E, it's the best indie I've seen in a long time, and it's worth talking about. Okay, so other positive. Man, I'm gonna fanboy over this so hard. I'm not gonna even crap on the graphics. The graphics for the cutscenes were amazing, and that adds to it. The visual design, because it also has Square Enix Platinum games with their visual design, and you could tell visual designs when it's in the cutscenes are fantastic. Everybody is just modeled well. Everybody's modeled well. The environments are distinctive enough and feels like classic Square Enix, but with like Platinum Games kind of flash to it. Everything with the darkness to the desert environment, everything works with it. It's just amazing. It's amazing good with the visuals. I'm curious on what it'll look like on the PS5. Now, mind you, it's not the best graphics, but I think for this type of story and game, I think it works to it well. The visual designs are pretty good, especially if you're in battle. Darkness or light or just multiple enemies, it just fits. And why the gameplay fits? Because it goes with the narrative. There's emotional investment in it. There's context about it, understanding. It just works because of the visual design, and it's pitch perfect. It doesn't dip down with the frame rate. It just keeps going. It's consistent. I love that. Okay, another thing I liked about this. Well, it's definitely going to be the characters. Fan favorite is going to always be 2B and 9S, but A2 is as great as those two. 2B just gets there because you just spent the most time with her, and she's fan favorite to a T for good reason. But the characters are so likable and just so relatable. That's why we're invested. They're likable, they're relatable. They act accordingly to our situation, and it doesn't help that they're voiced excellently. That's not a word. They're all turn in excellent performances, especially 2B, 9S, and A2. Even the pods, 042 and 150, have excellent dialogue too. I think they're voiced well. The characters who we do get to voice, Pascal, the main three trio, or just the pods, everybody's turned in a great performance. The people who we get to hear, even the twins, are voiced well too. Nobody's a weak link, NPC wise, or just the main trio. Everybody turns in excellent performances. It may seem when you get to Route A and B there could be like decent, but it changes when you get to Route C. Everybody changes. They bring out their A game, the dialogue with the characters, what they're given. When it gets to Route C, it elevates it to a new degree that I was not expecting. The dialogue gets better because it fits the scene, and there's poignancy, and there's to a point. They just don't hold back with the dialogue because it just feels like there's no restriction on it. Like I said, I was gonna fanboy about it, but the characters are really well done, and I want to go back to this world because I'm so invested in them. There's a reason why we got a NieR 1 point or NieR Replicant 1 point round up to 1.23. There's a reason why there's a remake because of this game. Without this game, I don't think the NieR series would be riding the high that they're at now. People are just excited because of this game, and I don't blame them. Now, the other thing that special mention goes to is combat. The combat didn't have to be good. For a fact, the combat could have just been, classic Japanese RPGs, and that's okay. But you know what they did different? They gave us a good gameplay. It's excellent. It's frantically excellent, and it fits because of the story too. It has a purpose. Or better yet, it's just freaking fun. It's so fun. why the gameplay works so much is it has. If you're familiar with playing gameplay before, it's fast, it's frantic. You dodge like crazy, you attack like crazy. There's combos that you can master with the weapons that you collect, the pods, add support, and excellent weaponry or machinery if you want to keep a distance. You can fight up close, you can fight from a distance, you can fight using just any sci-fi weaponry that you have. And you just feel like you feel dope. Yeah, you feel dope, you feel like a boss, and plus the boss fights that you get to utilize your gameplay to they will test your patience. If you get OP, it's not gonna last long. But if you don't get OP, they're great testament because you know what the gameplay does well? It gels with the narrative. It's like perfect example, Metal Gear. Metal Gear is a perfect blend of narrative and gameplay. And you know why? Because they don't sacrifice one or the other. NieR Automata is another grand example. They don't sacrifice the narrative for the gameplay, they just mix it together. And the narrative is still being explored and being invoked and being explained from the gameplay. When we go to a platformer for some reason, to a bullet hell, to classic Japanese RPGs, hack and slashes, everything, it just works because it fits with the narrative, because there's a point to it. And again, it's so freaking fun. It, all the combinations that you can do, and all the dodges, all the moves that you can do in NieR Automata, it just works to a T. You're amazed of how much time that went into the combat. I don't think the game would have been as fun if the gameplay was just not top notch, and it is. It's frantic, and it's a great collaboration between Square Enix and Platinum Games, because we got Square Enix classic storytelling with Platinum Games excellent gameplay. It just fits. It's a match made in heaven, and they know it, and that's why they're still riding the high of the NieR Automata series. From that, I hope it gets a sequel. They don't really need to. They don't really need to. Okay, another positive. Gosh, what's more to talk about? And you know what fits with it too? That they didn't have to do it too. The music, from its bombastic, sad, depressing, to a triumphant or just quiet moments like this. Perfect example of the music playing, or the weight of the world sung beautifully in ending E, or just through the credit scenes. It all fits. Even the remixes of classic themes I heard from City Ruins, or just from 2B's main theme, or 9S main theme, or just things that we heard before. You know why the music's fantastic? Because they focus on this cutscene. The music makes the scene more emotional because they invoke the emotions of the characters. That's the point of your music. You want your scene to be elevated. You want to be personally invested. That's, I think, what Yoko Taro wanted in his music, and it's more prevalent in Ending E with the way of the world. So in multicultural languages, but it fits to a T. It's so perfect, the music, it just fits with the narrative too. There's a purpose for it. Any scene, any cutscene, any character moments, or any story moments, the music just fits that particular scene, and it never lets up. It's fantastic. I will download it to Spotify. I already have. And I'm curious of what NieR Replicant 1.23 is going to be like with its music. Because the music is no slouch. It's the best music I've heard in a long while. It's music you can brush your teeth to, or just have like pondering of the meaning of life. It's that type of game. Okay, what else? Okay, I gotta talk about the DLC. If I had to give the DLC by itself what I like, it still gets a 9 too. it's not just the Colosseums and the or the costume callbacks from the original NieR. I get the feeling all the stuff that we were given was from the original NieR. But you get to fight the freaking CEOs of Square Enix and Platinum Games. That's high marks on my book. I love that. I love that moment. I love that boss fight. I fought it twice because I love that boss fight. Fight Mill, even though that's not part of the DLC, but another one that really worked was the Coliseum. It's the right amount of challenge. It's brutally challenging, but you feel like a beast by the time you get done with all the Coliseum, and then you get costumes, cosmetics, more weapons. There's so much incentive to go to the Coliseum that you just want to find out what happened. And then it ends not just with the CEO boss fight, but it ends in the very, and I recommend it, guys. Check out a music video. I'm not trying to promote it. Called "The Meaning of Life" by Square Enix UK on YouTube. Why do I say that? It's more prevalent to. I guess I'll spoil it. The meaning of life in the 3 points, long bunch of numbers and decimals. That was an excellent DLC. It's a great way to round it out. It talked about Machine and just why he wasn't good enough. He didn't feel good enough. And that's the general synopsis. I'm going to leave it like that because I recommend to check out either my video or play the game yourself. But what happens with that machine is just, it's so profound, and it makes us think about if a machine has a soul. That's a eerie thought, but I had to address it. And then they have a perfect music video regarding the meaning of life that just, it gives you foreshadowing to what's going to be happening later in the game, and now it makes a whole lot of sense, especially with that 2B doll towards the end of the music video. I wanted to show you guys that video. I really did. I think there's some analysis failures, or you guys can analyze the heck out of that video. I sure wanted to. But because of YouTube copyrights and Square Enix and all that, I couldn't show it. Or they blocked it. And that's okay. I think that's okay. But I think the dolls being compared to the machines and androids and humanity was just well represented of that. It's a weird, odd music video. I believe it. It's very odd. But there's a point to it. It just feels like the dolls are also represent the androids, the machines, humanity. That's why that robot was hesitating, because he was gaining a soul, conscience, which the pods eventually do too. And there's foreshadowing in that. And then that 2B kind of dying was another foreshadowing. But the music, the company in that music video was well done. Another fantastic piece in this long gravity of NieR Automata's excellent soundtrack. The DLC is worth the money. I recommend get the game of VR Hot Edition because you'll get your money's worth with the Coliseum, not just Coliseum. You'll get some great NieR 1 callbacks. Plus you get a beautiful side story DLC that just really gives you the perspective of the machine you've been killing. I got nothing more to say on that. It's just excellent DLC. You get your money's worth if you game the games of VR, or you get the Yarha edition. I think it's very worth it. You get your money's worth. Now, the last point I have to bring up, and it deserves a combination and just recognition by itself, is Ending E. Ending E, as a gamer, it made me happy, and that's a good thing. Games, if a game could elicit emotion from you, if a game can elicit emotion from you, you're a freaking good game. You're an excellent game. I think you deserve praise. Yoko Taro, you earn my respect from this game. Now I want to play your first game. I'm curious of where it goes. I kind of want to play your Dragon Guard games. I know them. I know about them. The Dragon Guard games. They're pretty screwed up, but I want to play them. And I do want to play your... I guess that's pretty much it, because you already made games before that. But I do want to play your Dragon Guard games. I want to play the first NieR game. Any game that you're dishing out, I kind of want to play. And just the fact that you you expect us to analyze it, to kind of do like a puzzle. You want us to throw our theories and concept and what we took away from it. It just feels like it. It feels like this game was meant to analyze the player and give their perspective. But anyway, to finish this verdict video, NieR is a great combination of everything that happened, of what you experience. It's it's humanity. It's humanity, but it's community. But it's humanity at its finest. But it doesn't shy away from it. It doesn't shy away from its central theme or its main thing. I'm gonna go into detail. What happens in so my jaw hit the ground already because we saw NieR die and A2 at the same time. It was brutal and it was depressing. I wanted to stop the game. And then extra dialogue comes up that I was expecting. And you guys already know this, whoever's played NieR Automata or been watching my channel. What hit me hard is it tested your patience, and it's intentional that it tests your patience. And now all the negative remarks that you're getting to give up, games are silly things. Is there any meaning in the meaning of life? All these negative words, but in the background, and it's nice little touches, and Yoko Taro did it on purpose. You get comments of actual players trying to give you positive feedback. They're pushing you, they're encouraging you, like our world, even in this midst of a coronavirus. People are trying to kind of give you positive feedback. No, not positive feedback, positive reinforcement. Even when the world, the way I see it, even if the world is doomed, or if the world is upside down, it's just not, or not safe, there are still people who are willing to, okay, how do I describe it? There are people who are willing to listen. Not all people are good. No, it's not black and white. Sometimes it's just gray. But it's the fact that in this game, that there was so much positive feedback. So much. Even if there was some tough love in there, you were encouraged. You were encouraged to reject all those negative remarks from the questions that you're getting, to keep going. It wasn't like a Dark Souls of like, you want to beat the boss, you were determined to knock his face in. It was more of you wanted to see it to the end because you had people supporting it. You were not alone, and you felt it. You felt that. It hit you where you live, as I love to say. And then, what combines or what makes that ending so perfect, and I think it's so perfect, it's so perfect. Actually, it's so perfect. Is then when you actually still refuse to give in, submit, and then you get help from somebody, and then the music, it swells, it gets more triumphant, and that's what I love about it. The music starts kind of like a 3-bit, or is it 2-bit? Then it goes to actual chorus, and then it goes to more multicultural, that you're saying that you're not alone, you can do this, keep going. And then you get help, and then you're not alone. It's like a community. Humanity is working together for the betterment. Even for strangers, and I love that they do that at the end too. Even for strangers, and you know you're not going to get help. And I know, I was hesitant to delete my save, that's a spoiler too, to help some person I never met before. Why would I do that? Some people would be thinking like me, why would I help somebody who I never met before, who I'm never going to see ever again on a virtual chat? This is what it is. No one wants to help a stranger, they'll help your family member or a loved one more than a stranger. But that's what this game does well. It focuses that people are separated. How do I describe it? They know people are separated. They know that they're strangers. They know people are going to play this game. But they want people to communicate, to have that connectivity as they continue the game. even though they can't see each other, they're encouraging you because some actually mean it. Some probably don't mean it, but some people actually do mean it. And then when someone actually wants to help you, you don't turn it away. You want their help. And then when you lose them, when you're trying to fight the credits, and I know how ridiculous that sounds, you're fighting the credits. I can't believe that's a thing in this game. It's amazing. It's amazing you're fighting the credits. It's ridiculous. It's Yoko Taro. I'm gonna be on the lookout for him fighting credits, but find the credits with people, and then the entire music changes too when you ask for their help. It just is a great final sequence and a perfect. It just closes and ends this arc that started from Route A. I love it. I will replay it again if the game didn't delete my save. And you know what? I'm not sad that it deleted my save. I was willing and able, and I love deleting my save. I never thought I would ever say that, but I felt complete. No game has done that in a while. I felt so complete when I got done. Sure, I lost my saves. I lost all my quests, all my weapons, all my levels, everything. You would expect me to be mad about that. Any gamer would. I wouldn't blame him. You lost your save. But what works with NieR is that you did it for a purpose. Even though you're not going to get thanks, even though you're never going to get a chat, or you're not going to get any recognition. And there's, for a fact, this isn't going to mean a lot. Why it works in this ending is just the fact that you understand. It's empathy. Even though you don't see them, you can't help them. You don't know if it's going to be a person who appreciates it or not. It's the fact that you were willing to, you want to help. It's that humanity. You understand that they're struggling too. It's that humanity. That you want to help them. That you want to actually save them. You want to believe that they would do the same thing for you as you would do for them. That everybody's connected. I didn't mean to make that more profound than I thought it would be, but I think that's the perfect closure for this type of story. For what it started with, and then what it got complex to, or what it ended with. And the quote, I think it's perfect for this type of game. What Pod 042, I think this is the perfect line for it. A future is not given to you. It is something you must take for yourself. My interpretation of that quote, just not to be analytical about it or try to not sound sophisticated. They're right. Your future, when you grow up, you think your future is preordained by your parents, but they're not. It is something you gotta take for yourself. You are the one who can make the path. You are the one that you have to claim your own future. You can't just focus on what people decide your future. Sometimes you gotta reject their future or their path of what you think people should expect for you, and just go with the future that you can take for yourself, that you're comfortable with, your path. But it's really that you, another interpretation it could be is you're willing to take a risk. Sometimes you got to, and I'm not trying to give you guys a pep talk. I am not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I am not. In fact, this is just general. Just if you want to listen, that is your call. If you don't want to listen, that is entirely your call too. But the main thing that what Pod 042, which it hits you where you live. Another interpretation of it is the path that you're going on. You gotta make that future yourself. You can't just take the easy way out for your future. You gotta take the future that you want to grasp yourself. This is the future you want to do. This is the path. Go get it. Go get that future of yours. Go make it happen. If you can make that future happen, then that's a future worth fighting for. It is something you have to take for yourself. So, I hope I did not make you guys kind of get all nervous or uncomfortable. That was not my intent. My intent with that ending was to kind of show and kind of like show my opinion of it, where I stood with that ending. I think it's the best ending of the series. I think it's a fitting ending. I think it's beautiful. I still think Route C and D is my favorite route, but Ending E, after that depression, just got us to a point that it's uplifting. It's very hopeful. I love it. I love that. I think it's earned it. I think this game deserves every praise. I recommend it. There's so many things, great things I could say about this, but I don't have to say more. I think the fan base and the reception and all the critical acclaim that this game got was well deserved. So, there's something more I can say on this. I'm complete. I hope I find another game that will give me that feeling too. Like NieR Automata. I think I can find it. And I will find it. If I can find a game that can just top this, I'd be surprised. So guys, as always, stay tuned to more of my YouTube channel. There'll be more. I just wanted to get this one out of the way because it's been a long time coming and it was worth it. And I will see you guys next time and have a good night.